Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video we're going to be talking engines, and in particular the twin turbo D5 engine that Volvo released in January 2009. This car here is my 2009 Volvo S80 D5, and it's the twin turbo variant with 205 brake horsepower. Now this engine was implemented by Volvo in mid-2009 and onwards, hence why 59 plate cars come with the twin turbo engine. However, some also come with the single turbo engine. It's a bit complicated, but essentially the single turbos only produce 185, and they still had a load of those left over from before when they brought in the new engine, if that makes any sense. So as a 59 plate, you'll find a range of little engines available. The D5, obviously the 2.4D, but the easiest way to tell if yours is the twin turbo is on this door thing here. As you can see, 205 PS there. That's the easiest way to tell. If yours says 185, then you've got a single turbo. So Volvo introduced this car to meet new European regulations, the Euro 5 regulations, which basically meant you had to be more economical for fuel and cleaner in terms of CO2. Now let's open the bonnet and show you the engine, because to most, or to the untrained eye, it will look exactly the same as the standard or the one before it. Now you may notice, I'm going to tell you something in a minute regarding the dipstick. Now this has been added in by me, so I'll explain that in a bit. But basically this engine introduced two turbochargers instead of one, one large one and one small one, and the reason for that is so that the smaller turbo spools up really quickly, so that the car is more efficient at lower RPMs, meaning that you get a nice linear sort of power band. Turbo lag is fairly non-existent with these cars, therefore saving fuel and also increasing performance, hence why these produce the more horsepower and the better sort of fuel economy and CO2. Now, like I said, what the small turbo is mounted just underneath the larger turbo, and they both run at 1.8 bar. Basically, once the small turbo runs out of legs, the bigger turbo is spooled and takes over, which is why this car will pull all the way to its red line. A lot of diesels, single turbos sort of die off, and the cars before the twin turbo setup sort of had a lag as well, so they'd lag, have a big spike in the torque band and then drop off towards the end, whereas this is much more sort of just a slab of torque, if that makes sense. So this, apparently, according to Volvo, dropped 0 to 60s by about half a second, improved fuel economy. They reckon you could get 45.6 mpg out of this engine on the run, which is about right, I'd say. It's not too bad at all. Now, they also included in this update special ceramic injectors to make it more efficient, higher power as well, and then that was 18 bar, I think, the fuel rail. I might be totally wrong, I might have misread that, but yeah, essentially this engine was designed to be far more efficient. Now it actually comes in two different guises. In 2012 they released a 215 horsepower, sorry, 2014 they released a 215 horsepower engine, which is essentially a reworked version of this engine, sort of engineered for the Euro 6 standard. And like this, they just improved it, tweaked it ever so slightly, mainly to do with engine mapping, etc. But the main thing, or the main sort of fanfare that this engine received, was for its this environmental sorry, my words are getting tangled. The environmental, or the reduction on the environmental impact of the D5 engine. Now, this use of turbos, the twin turbos, working all the way through the power band, meant that Volvo could recirculate exhaust gases through the cylinders during a wider part of the rev band, which means that this car is much cheaper to tax than its predecessors. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite an intriguing package. 205 brake horsepower, this one is standard, guys. 420 newton meters of torque with a remap from Polestar, you're looking at 220, anywhere between 220 and 230 horsepower, and roughly the same torque. So yeah, it's a very capable engine, nice and refined as well, and quieter because you've got the two turbos. Now there are a few issues that can arise from these engines. Obviously you've got two turbos to fail, which is a bit of a faff, especially when it comes to replacing them, because they're actually designed as one component, if that makes sense. So they're attached, so if one fails you sort of either need to have it repaired, or have both replaced, which can be expensive. Also, Volvo removed the oil dipstick from these engines. So basically they said, oh well, you know, our Volvo owners don't ever check their own oil, and why don't we get a computer to do it instead, to tell them when it needs doing, which in principle sounds fantastic. But when you think that these systems fail all the time, and I've done a video previously, there's a small wire down there which chafes away, hang on, there we go, on the engine block, just there, and will basically give you a wrong reading all the time. So they're reliable until they're not reliable, and then it can cause serious issues, hence why I've added my own here, and I've made a video on that, so check that out. Yeah, other than that guys, these engines are pretty solid and very good engines. For a big 2.4, they're fairly economical for the size of the car. I mean, this is a 2-ton car and I'm getting around 40 mpg on the run. You can't complain too much at all. Gives good performance. I've never sort of needed more power when I'm overtaking. It's been quite interesting, and I can honestly say that this car will travel well into triple digits, more than capably. It's yeah, it keeps pulling all the way through. So yeah, that's probably why you guys should look at getting a twin turbo D5 engined car. They're just, yeah, lovely. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and let me know if I've missed anything. Like I said, these videos are done sort of fairly on the fly, so if I've missed anything or I've said anything correct, just let me know in the comments below, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've got a single turbo D5 or a twin turbo D5, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of running costs and MPGs and everything that you guys get, and if there's anywhere that you sort of wish that the engine could be improved. I'd be really grateful if you guys spoke in the comments. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.